No, I'm not worried. It wasn't a personal bill, so to say. It was a bill born out of patriotism to help ramp up the solid mineral sector of Nigeria, to add value to our raw materials. And just like you've said, we scaled through first reading, second reading, public hearing, which the Committee of Science and Tech, maybe they are still working on it. It's yet to be presented as a report to the House for further legislative consideration. But I'm not worried. I'm not worried. There was absolutely nothing personal about the bill. It was a bill to add value to raw materials, our GDP, reduce our unemployment rate, and make so many other beautiful advantages for Nigerians, especially if you look at what the superpowers, the USA of this world, the Chinas of this world, the Canada of this world, the current trade war. It clearly underscores the importance of the bill in question, because you must certainly have what to use to bargain for what you want. For the opting time, let me reiterate on the core value, the core importance of the bill. It was simply to leverage on a huge population, huge and active population, to attract what we do not have in order to add value to our raw materials. So I'm not worried at all. I think the Committee for Science and Tech will do the needful, looking at the merit of the bill in question. Thank you. It's a very good development. And of course, you know, equally in the House of Reps, by the grace of God, a bill credited to my name, a bill for the establishment of laboratory lab scientists. I think, so to say, I've not really gotten the name correctly, but it has to do with the establishment of medical lab science technology, scaled through first reading, second reading, third reading, and equally passed in the House. So we expect more of such bills. Of course, we have senators representing my constituency in the Senate, just like the bill that I equally pioneered to be passed in the House is going to be established in my senator's senatorial district. So we synergize together for the development of the senatorial district. National Planning and Economic Development. National Planning and Economic Development. That's the name, the nomenclature of the committee. If you look at recently the communication the National Assembly received from the President by jacking up the budget from 49.7 trillion to about 52.4 or 54.2 trillion. That is basically the work of my committee. Because during the MTEV and during the budget defense of 2024 and the budget proposal of 2025, leveraging on the current envelope system, many of the MDS complain that what the budget office allocates to them cannot even carry out a major capital project in their MDS. And almost all of them seek for budget increment. And as a committee, in conjunction with appropriation and finance, we have to look at the merits and the demerits of their requisition and equally advise the executive. And I can tell you that the executive have equally heeded to the cries of the MDS via the instrumentality of the parliament, and have equally addressed those gray areas, and that has given birth to what you have read so far in the media space. The budget has increased from A to B, all for the interest of Nigerians. Yes. So that is basically the work of my committee. So when it comes to the hunger you are talking about, the high price of things, of course the President has said that it is the forces of demand and supply that interacts, which we were taught in elementary economics, that interacts to determine the prices of things in the market. And that is why we equally have the FGPCC price blah 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 control mechanism, which they are equally doing their work. But of course, you cannot completely control the price because that would be against the laws of demand and supply. Campaign promise. I promise them. In my community, in my local government, there is a group we call Tipper Loaders Association. They simply load gravel, sand, all building materials. And we have a quarry in my local government where they go to excavate for this sand, laterite, sharp sand, plastering sand, which they use in building of houses and other infrastructure. And during my campaign, I gathered them and I told them, look, if you support me to be made, instead of you constantly loading tippers, I will make you a tipper owner. And by the grace of God, last December, and I was able to fulfill that promise. Then I equally checked that that is a first in the history of all kinds of empowerment. No parliamentarian, no governor, no president in the history of empowerment has ever given a tipper. Not talking about cars, a tipper. And it's all there for one to see. So literally, that elevated those people that were just loading tipper to becoming owners of tipper. So they will manage it among themselves. They can give it on hire purchase, get the money, rotate it among themselves, and take it or leave it. Their standard of living has increased from then the comfort, the joy of beating your chest and say, that tipper that is going there, I'm a part of the owner. I think it's something to thank God for. So I'm grateful for that. I will start from the very beginning, Genesis, when we came in. There are projects I inherited. Of course, I didn't start this National Assembly. Before I came in here, somebody was occupying this federal constituency. So when I came in, the first thing I did was to check what was left in the budget of 2023 from June to December. And I discovered a couple of projects which I pursued vigorously with the MDAs for them to be executed. The first one of such was training of female youth on cosmetology. We train and give them starter packs. That has been done. The second one in that category was the construction of a town hall meeting in Ward 3 in a back local government area. That also has been done and completed and handed over to the people. Then away from the 2023, we move into a full budget cycle, which is 2024. So far, we have executed numerous projects. The first one is solar street light. Hundreds of them littered across the constituencies, local government areas, villages in my federal constituency. The second one is road grading. So far, we've graded close to 50 kilometers of road, rural roads, across these 3 different local government areas. The next one is schools. We've started, completed, handed over to the school, brand new school blocks, 6 classroom blocks, built, start and completed, furnished, given to the schools. We've equally done solar powered boreholes, 3 in number across the 3 local government areas, handed over to the people. Then we've done series of empowerments and training. We've trained on ICT and we've given brand new laptops. We've given scholarship to students. Many of them we've given bursary to students in their numbers. We've equally given grant to market women in their numbers. We've equally done training on agriculture. The last one we just did attracted about 250 of my constituents, and thereafter we gave them 80,000 naira each. So we've done a whole lot. Then in terms of employment that we have facilitated for our constituents, we have given them a number of employment. In fact, the girl that just walked out here, that wore trouser, we facilitated employment for her. She's currently working in the Auditor General's office. It's a level 8 officer. And we've done that. And that one is a little bit emotional for me. When I never knew her from any way, I only got her CV presented to where it needs to be presented, and we followed it up. I got the employment letter, called her, paid her way down to Abuja, handed over the employment letter to her. And guess what? We equally rented an apartment for her here in Abuja. And we placed her on salary until her probation period is up before federal government start paying her. That is the level of commitment we show to our people. We don't just secure employment, then tell you anyhow you want to survive. We are that passionate about giving you holistic employment. Then, of course, many in the paramilitary, the military, the navy, the Nigerian army, civil defense, police, so many. Those ones are in their number is countless. So within the first 1 year and about 7-8 months to occupy this office, I can tell you, I can beat my chest. I can challenge anybody that nobody that has occupied this office in my federal constituency has, for 4 years, 8 years, has met or surpassed or even meet the target that we have set so far. So God has helped us. We've done, and we are still going to do more. 2024 budget is still running till June, and 2025 is equally going to run maybe from 31st of or 20. Is it February? Does it end in 28 or 29? Maybe from 28 when we pass it to start running. There is nothing wrong in two budget running concurrently. It's actually constitutional. So 2019, I indicated interest to run for the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And that was exacerbated by what I saw, that I knew very well that if I am given the powers and the privilege to handle certain things, I could do it better. And of course, it is born out of passion to see things done differently. When you look at the unemployment rate in Nigeria, which we have no business in being rated that way, it is self-inflicted, and you know you can change the narrative. So why not? I'm not the type that sits on the fence. I embrace challenges. I don't throw my hands in fatalistic resignation and allow things that I know can be done better to spiral out of control. Never. Not under my watch. That is why even in the National Assembly, we are still moving with that passion. Things must be done differently. Because the more we do things differently, the more we create space for more people to come in. Just like a young guy that just walked in here, he's a laboratory scientist. He came in here looking for my assistant to jet out of this country, search for a greener pasture. I said, no, you are not going anywhere. We will fix this country together. We'll find a way to create a lab for you to sit down and carry out tests in Nigeria. Where are you leaving this country for? Let's stay here and fix it. So that is the mindset. We can do it because I have read how other nations were built, just like you and I. And the closest example I always like to use is Singapore. They got independence in 1965. And in 1990, within the space of 25 years, they've exited from being a developing nation to entirely developed nation till death. How did they do it? It is built by their people. The USA, we all glamour to go. The UK, the Canada, they were all built by human beings, just like you and I. And most of the time, you interact with these guys, and you know that they don't have something upstairs better than you. It's just that they are committed to making sure their nation works. They are passionate about making sure their nation works. So what we don't seem to have in Nigeria among many of our young people is that sense of commitment and patriotism to see to it that your house is built better. We don't seem to have it. And it is time we inculcate it in ourselves that nobody will build this nation for us. If Nigeria stop or remove all their children from Canada in their tertiary institution, and UK, believe me, the education system of those countries will collapse drastically. It's an organization that I leverage on to run my campaigns. And there is an ideology behind it. If you look at my state, where I come from, those that have, from 1999, those that have constantly been in the saddle of leadership have always been the same people. Recycle phrases, recycle ideas. Then I look at the humongous amount that Akwa State earns from the Federation account monthly, plus the 13% oil derivation. Then when the Bureau of Statistics released their data of unemployment, we still top as number second as most unemployed state in Nigeria. I said, no, something is not adding up. Then I look at what I was taught in economics in my secondary school, the laws of diminishing returns. I said, that is exactly what is setting in. And if we allow this to continue, a time will come that you sink in 100 billion into a state and nothing will come out. So let us challenge the status quo. So I came up with this slot. In the table of discussion, where political discussion is made, which from that discussion affects so many things about our life from date to date. And if you look at this table of discussion as basically surrounded by elders, this recycled individuals, I say, let there be a youth in that table also. So that was how youth slot came in. When 10 elders sit down to discuss the future of Nigeria or of a Bible state, let there be a youth representative of that table. And I can proudly tell you right now, Clement Jimbo is that youth representative. That no policies of government, by the grace of God, and no policies in the state that is discussed that I don't have a wing of what they have been discussed and how to chip in my own contribution. So that's the brain behind it slot. And very soon we'll have it across the 36 states plus 50 in Abuja. And I'm glad all of you are members of this slot.
Parliamentary advocacy and journalism redefined.